That's what I've always been saying, John. I said, if anyone's going to run mid Dawnbreaker, it'll be Mamang Daya. But now there's a Kunkka, which is a Mamang Daya special, so we're not going to go down that route. I'm pretty sure it must just be an offlane Dawnbreaker coming out. So offlane Dawnbreaker. Again, a very strong hero during the lane. Can transition decently through to the mid game. I just question how effective it's going to be a little bit later on. So it does have a pretty steep drop-off, it feels like.
Yeah, it's got some really tight timings as a core. You can make it work with like an Echo Saber build up on that core position, then kind of work slowly towards the Ags. You maybe go for Medallion into Solar Crest if you feel like you need it for minus armor to buff up your team. But it is a fairly tight window for the hero. Again, you don't have direct counters though, so you feel fine. And Nigma Galaxy actually picked up the TB for In Your Dream. It was left in the pool. I'm again a bit surprised because Omega was the one banning out some of the. They banned out the Morphling, so it felt like they wanted TB, they wanted Gyrocopter. Instead, NGX pick it up, and this is an In Your Dream special. You pointed out last time, I think 2-3 months ago, that it felt like the meta was very in favor for In Your Dream. All his heroes were up front. The Terrorblade, of course, was a top pick back then. I don't think it's too bad at all nowadays. Like, it might have been eclipsed by other cores, but it wasn't really nerfed too hard the last time a balance change affected it. So you still have a really good time with the Terrorblade here. You don't have the best burst from Omega. Early on, the Nyx can get work done on the Terrorblade. So level 6 timing for Nyx, very important. You want to get that rotation into the triangle, scout out the TB, kill him down, and just keep applying that pressure onto In Your Dream as fast as possible.
We'll see how it pans out. I mean, the position 1 of Omega yet to be picked up as well, so should be able to find some kind of favorable matchup here against the Terrorblade, as we do see the Luna being removed here from Nigma Galaxy. So generally, we kind of say, you know, the Terrorblade directly counters the Luna, but I suppose it can sort of go either way. You know, not a hard counter. It's just like a soft counter in some ways, but can go either way. Omega Esports. Another pause 3 ban to make. They'll get rid of the Beastmaster. I'm thinking right now for Omega, like, is Gyro still available? You could still go down the Gyro route. It doesn't seem too bad here.
It fits in with your lineup. We did just see Gyrocopter and Dawnbreaker in a team though, and somehow it didn't work out. So maybe the timings don't align. That could be an issue. I think if you do pick the Gyrocopter, I'd like to see it with an aggressive build. You know, something like the Rocket Barrage maxed out instead of Flat Cannon stats. So you have that early presence. You can force the fight. You can rip through Terrorblade because he's not going to be protected from magic damage, and just ride that early spike to prevent In Your Dream from getting big. We'll see. It's a good option there for Omega if they want to. I'm actually curious now, because with Dawnbreaker on hand, we're assuming it's offlane. It could be a callback to the Nyx offlane for Omega, but that seems less likely. So I think it should be the Dawn. For NGX, Brewmaster's on hand, right? Like, Mizu's Brewmaster is still there. He placed it to a very high level, and I think it fits the lineup of NGX, just having a really good hold, very disruptive hero in the middle of a fight. And depending on what core pick Omega goes for, it could be a really good Brewmaster game. Like Gyrocopter, you just cycling them up, you can kind of deal with him. Weaver is the pick though. So Omega trying to play with how much durability they have with the boat, with the time lapse now, and with the Solar Guardian. You don't have the highest burst damage on NGX. You know, you don't have Finger or Laguna, but you do have at least a magic output from the puck, and the silence might be a problem for the Weaver until BKB is up. So there's some counterplay there from the NGX already.
Yeah, I mean, the Weaver, that carry you kind of forget about, but it does pop up and obviously looks very good against the TB. NGX, do you want the Brewmaster? It still feels quite nice against the Weaver. You know, that Cyclone in the middle of a team fight, just removing something like the Weaver is always going to be very, very nice.
You know,
Mizu special?
he...
No? Oh, I love it. So is it Spirit Breaker offlane? Is it Elder Titan offlane is now the question. It is Spirit Breaker offlane. Very, very exciting stuff. You love to see it. I mean, we saw this the other day, but that was with a Morph combo. This time, just on its own, Mizu's going to be taking that offlane Spirit Breaker. Do you like this pickup, John?
I actually do. I think as a direct counter to Weaver, Shikuchi's not going to do you any favors as an escape tool when charges up. So Mizu's always going to be able to keep track of where the Weaver's at. If he feels the need to rotate aggressively, he can also charge to other lanes. It's a very tanky hero. And for Omega, that laning duo of Weaver plus Bane doesn't sound really aggressive. Like, the Spirit Breaker is not under threat of dying there. It's going to be very well protected. You're probably going to have a strong duo there as well for the Spirit Breaker, whether or not Paulson goes down or the Snapfire goes down. It's very open. Likely Jokam is, of course, going to be on the 4 snap, so you have a lot of minus armor that you can leverage there with the little Shredder. You could go for cookie stuns with bashes coming through from Mizu as well. Lots of control. I think NGX have kind of secured themselves this really good tempo. Whereas for Omega, there's still that question of the Van offlane Dawnbreaker. Like, how much will it really achieve against a Terrorblade? TB can just play from afar when Metamorphosis is up, farm up, not really feel threatened by the Dawnbreaker. Of course, Omega can try to leverage their stun setup for the Starbreaker with the Nyx, right? So you go for the Impale into the Starbreaker. You can kind of hammer in on the Terrorblade early on, but Starbreaker is like physical damage. Terrorblade has a lot of armor, so you might not be able to burst him through if In Your Dream is secured enough in that lane.
Okay, fair enough. Are you leaning towards Nigma Galaxy here for this game 1, John? Do you like their draft a little bit better, or do you feel like Omega might have what it takes here to take this game 1?
I like NGX's draft more. I find the Weaver pick a bit curious because they pick Weaver into Puck. So Dream Coil kind of prevents Weaver from Shikuchiing around in a fight, and that's what he wants to do. It's like a Lycan, right? We see the same issue with Lycan, where if a Lycan plays against Mars or Puck, the Arena or Dream Coil just cuts them off, and suddenly they can't leverage that mobility in a fight.
That is a very good point. We'll head into game number 1. We'll figure out what's going to happen here between these two teams. So I almost thought I saw a disconnection from everyone once we got into the game. I was very, very afraid for a second there. Not the case, though, luckily. Everyone is still here.
Southeast Asian internet.
Nothing
You never
scarier
know.
for a caster in SEA, John. See all 10 players disconnecting.
You know what happens if a 10-man disconnect happens? Whose pause time runs? Do both of them get penalized? What happens?
Our pause time, John. That's whose pause time. We've got to pay the bill.
Yep. That's how
Thank
it
you.
ends up.
Gonna run up. Sentry wards are available here. Zenki very confident. May not have spotted out the Radiant End. What is it?
I have no clue what they're talking about, but the fact that Mamang Daya just replies, nice, just made me giggle. I don't... you know Mamang Daya. You know he loves to talk a lot. I was chatting with him in a whisper in Steam. And he's like, oh, I didn't see. And I was like, yeah, you're playing. It's like, I'm going to hype you up. So I'm going to oversell Mamang Daya, and if he fails to deliver, that's on him. Daya, you better play your heart out here.
Isn't it my job to overhype a player, John? You really want to do it? You think
I'll
you'll be able to pull it off?
overanalyze him. You know, I'll call every single move a genius move. You know, a little sidestep. He's doing it. What a great play. Outstanding.
Thank you. I look forward to it, John. Thank you for that. 2 for 2 bounty runes. Gonna go each way, so very even kind of start. We'll start off with the top lane this time around, John. You've got Jokam there with Mizu. Of course, they are going to be up against Prince. And you should have Zenki making his way over. But he's going to place a quick sentry by the small camp. Make sure that's blocked up for the lovely Makoto on the puck. But this off lane of NGX. Spirit Breaker Snapfire. Not something we see too often. Do you like it, John? Do you think it's a strong off lane to have against the Weaver Bane?
I actually really do like it, actually. I think you've got a lot of good presence. It will take a few levels to really get running here. I think you really want to hit level 2 at minimum to have some presence. Level 1 doesn't feel particularly amazing. But once you hit level 2, level 3, with more levels in the charge up, with a cookie or scatter blast up, along with a little shredder, you have a lot of damage. And you will have to watch yourself here on the side of Omega. I don't think Prince is going to get pressured too hard. You know, you have the protection of Zenki. When he has Nightmare, he can interrupt charge or save Prince from damage. We've seen Banes really be impactful in the saving plays throughout the day, so there's a lot of value there. But I think the lane will just ramp up for NGX as the levels go up.
Okay. Over in the mid lane, Mamang Daya and Makoto against each other. Oh, hold that thought, because bot lane, Paulson, he's dropping extremely low here on the Elder Titan. You'll be okay to back off and salve up. I suppose while we're here, Paulson and, of course, In Your Dream going to be against Van. And Aaron, however, the top lane, we are going to have a first blood occurring. Zenki does take down Jokam.
Yeah, it's a great kill. They managed to cut off the snap before the level spikes come in. Paulson's dropping low again, though.
It's the Dawnbreaker effect, as it's a very nice impale out onto Paulson, but not going to amount to a kill. You can see that offlane Dawnbreaker still very potent throughout the lane. Very hard to contest even as an Elder Titan. That's the thing, you get close enough, you're just going to get Starbreakered up. It's not a very fun time here whatsoever for Paulson.
Yeah, but I think Paulson's doing a good job here, Mike. In Your Dream is basically free farming here. No pressure being applied to the Terrorblade, all the attention being given to the Elder Titan. And he's even contesting the pulse, so the lane's just going to shove in. And IYD has the freest lane of his life. He does not care if the ET cops it. As long as the Terrorblade farms, I think NGX are perfectly happy with this.
Paulson again just being chased down here by Aaron and Van, but the reflection in from In Your Dream actually going to buy him the space he needs to get out. Aaron, he's going to try for an impale. Should be able to land it, and he does. Nice little play there from Aaron, able to secure the kill. In the end, In Your Dream's little play there does not work out.
Yeah, but he's stalling out time. You know, they're not focusing on Terrorblade. Terrorblade's still farming. Dawnbreaker isn't really stopping him. In fact, In Your Dream hasn't used Metamorphosis once. He's just that secure in lane. The support's doing such a great job of just cutting him off. Paulson just being this massive distraction, a massive body that these two have to deal with. And the Terrorblade just gets to play his game. So I think for NGX, sure, you're losing a support. It doesn't matter. Your Terrorblade's free farming, and you're going to hit that spike. So In Your Dream's pretty happy. I think he's encouraging Paulson to just die for him, which is what every core loves. And if Van is not slowing down In Your Dream, he's not also finding a lot of CS because he keeps chasing around. He's down at 10-1, lowest on the board. Not a good time for the Dawnbreaker in terms of economy here.
Certainly not. So over in the mid lane, Mamang Daya against Makoto. The Kunkka versus Puck matchup. Right now, Mamang Daya is ahead in terms of CS, and well, we know how great this guy is with the Kunkka. Makoto struggling to keep up with the CS, and well, hell, even Aaron just constantly rotating into this mid lane, making it very difficult for Makoto to be able to fill up the bottle. He will not be able to get a water rune here either. In fact, in the meantime, Jokam's going to be forced to take the bounty as Zenki was making his way over. So they're really making sure that Makoto does not have a very fun time in this mid lane. And at top, Mizu, well, he's been chased down by Prince. No lucky 17% bash either. So Prince might just be able to chase him down with the Sakuchi. Salve though, Mizu going to turn around with the salve and the cookie. And they secure the kill back onto Prince. Sometimes you just got to man up, John. In fact, Zenki now is going to be in trouble. He'll salve up. He should be okay. But a really nice play there from Mizu. In the meantime, though, Paulson is going to drop on the Elder Titan once again.
Yeah, it's a decent kill for Van, but I think the top kill's a lot more important for NGX. They managed to kill off the Weaver, so the Weaver, despite getting a little bit of space out, does bleed some gold back to the Spirit Breaker. In the comparison here in the offlanes, Mizu is still keeping up in CS. 27-0, compare that to our Dawnbreaker 3-1 with the kill on top. If you are having a great time to start off with for NGX, the only lane that's really going bad is that mid lane. Makoto is forced all the way back into base. Mamang Daya hits level 6. He has his full bottle. He's getting free farm. And we talked about Mamang Daya. He's doing great. Every single thing lining up for him. He's commanding his team to cut off water runes. And as long as he keeps this pace up, gets the fast phase boots up, he's going to have a lot of damage to play with soon.
Oh, absolutely. Makoto just not having a good time at all. Still yet to pick up his own brown boots. Just a very slow process here for the mid puck. Top lane, Jokam being set up on with the Nightmare. Swarm is going to fly out. He'll just use the little shredder to burst it down. The end, Prince doesn't really want to go for the dive underneath the tier 1 tower as Mizu. I mean, we know what happened last time. Rather avoid risking that happening again. Prince will just kind of learn his lesson, go back to CSing, play it safe. Still just behind In Your Dream anyway in terms of CS, so still having a pretty nice time here on the Weaver as Mamang Daya now is going to rotate up. No real heroes for him to pick off though, as Mizu's just kind of hiding in the tree line, but he is using the siege creep to just chip away at this tier 1 tower. The top tier 1, not something you usually see being prioritized by any team, but I suppose while you're here, you may as well get a few hits off.
Yeah, immediate TP out though. He was spotted by a nice obs earlier, so he doesn't get the successful rotation. But this could be a sneaky play down bot. In your dream, already backing off, sensing something's wrong. And they do have that forward obs watching that next rotation. So every movement from Mamangdaya, unfortunately, being under vision. On the side of NGX, just get to dodge all the rotations. They TP in your dream up top, looking for that push. Metamorphosis ready to go. And they've got the firepower to get that early push going.
Mid lane, a bit of a rotation out from Mizu.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nothing really for him to do here.
Radiant's bottom tower is
He just
under
wants to
attack.
try and chase down Aaron, I
Dire's
suppose.
structures are fortified.
Loop
Radiant's
around back
structures
towards the
are
top
fortified.
lane. Spot out Zenki on the Bane, but no charging coming here from Mizu. He'll just leave the Bane be for now.
Radiant's
In your
bottom
dream, he'll
tower
get
is
started on
under
that top
attack.
tier 1 tower. Eventually get it done. Mid lane, a Dream Coil was committed, but they're going to find nothing out of this.
Dire's
So they
top
did
tower
lock
is
at
under
least
attack.
Aaron down, but with the
Dire's
rotation
top
in from
tower
Van,
is
that was
falling.
enough to force them back. And in the end, both teams just secured the opposing tier 1 towers.
I wonder what the nightmare.
Both teams kind of dodging the engagements. NGX taking this opportunity to get some vision out though, getting some sentries down. No ops. Although, mid?
And they got Aaron. Boat's gonna fly in though. Mamangdaya, he could find a really nice trade and does. Offlane for his support, definitely not worth for the side of NGX. Mamangdaya just in the right place at the right time.
Step lively now. Your
He makes it
admiral
work.
is on board.
We finally get another kill on Omega's side. The big difference that stands still is that NGX is having a better time on In Your Dreams farm. He is being shoved away from the top jungle, but he's still up there in CS and in net worth compared to a Reaper. Not too far ahead. So it's not a big gap, and Prince is getting some space bot. Just keep building up. Weaver does need that fast Maelstrom timing to really get online. At least the Javelin has to be in for the damage to fly through. Almost there for Prince, but not quite. As long as he gets space, you're pretty happy here.
Prince. Bot lane on the Weaver. 4K net worth, having a good old time. No real struggle here for him at the moment. Has actually passed In Your Dream on the Terrorblade. In the meantime, smoke up here from Jokam and Makoto. Zenki's going to rotate mid as well on the Bane.
Dire are scanning.
Really find the target he's looking for though as bot. Makoto is going to run right into Prince, but can he get the coil off in time? You bet your ass he can. Sentries down as well. They should have enough, and they do. Great rotation out from Makoto and Jokam.
They get the Weaver, squish the bug, and that's the strong suit of NGX. Their lineup has a really early presence coming out, almost global with charge on hand, with the puck on hand as well, highly mobile. For Omega, they haven't really been playing around the Solar Guardian presence, and we talked about last time with the pickup on that hero. You do want to play fast, you kind of want to use that spell in big engagements, kind of force the numbers, like draw them in with bait and come in with a Solar Guardian afterwards, but Omega hasn't found that opportunity. And that just means Van is kind of soaking jungle space, which I don't think is ideal. You do have this early spike in the hero. It has a lot of early damage, a lot of early presence, and
Radiant
pretty good
are
durability.
scanning.
Kind of want to use that in a fight.
Jokam. X out. Mamangdaya is going to find him. Boat to come in. The Snapfire in trouble. Still alive, but oh, that's a great stop out. Paulison. He puts an end to the team fight, and now Mizu. He'll come in for the charge, but there's your Solar Guardian. Van will come over. Make sure he's there to help out, and in the meantime, Jokam does drop to Prince, who does snipe the kill. Makoto, you've got the Dream Coil, but he won't commit it onto the Weaver. Army Geniuses, they do eventually get that Snapfire kill off. In fact, it looks like they might even find themselves a Nyx Assassin. The coil was committed. Spike Carapace going to slow things down a little bit. They will be able to finish it off in the end. Problem is though, you are going to lose Mizu on the Spirit Breaker, and now in your dream, he's been caught by the Fiend's Grip. He will eventually try to run his way out, but the chase is on by Prince, and with the Sakuchi, it's going to be way too easy to be able to catch up. So they got the big one. Back in, Joe Camp trying to fight, but he might go down a second time along with Paulison. Van still trying, gets a nice star breaker, but ultimately will go down. But they do avenge him by taking down Joe Camp. Army Geniuses, looks like they did come out on top of that team fight.
Yeah, Omega's doing really well here. They managed to make turns. They actually used the Solar Guardian in a big way, and they used that forward presence from the Dawnbreaker. And for NGX, it kind of streamed in 1v1. You don't want In Your Dream up there all too early, although...
Yeah, Prince, another strike charge. I mean, it was such a good fight, and then suddenly you just lose your Weaver.
They got pretty greedy for that push. You know, they felt secure. The respawns are short. And they did come in. That tier 1 tower is still fairly healthy. So it was optimistic and kind of looking for that pin down. Omega, they can't afford to make small mistakes like that. NGX is a team that punishes and capitalizes on plays that small. And we have seen that with NGX. They've had games where they were behind for a long time. They hold out and they turn around. Now, off the back of that kill, they'll smoke up and look for one more.
Mamang Daya, he's going to run his way out, but oh, he's come back for the creeps. That'll cost him. Coil is there, but the Solar Guardian going to heal him up. In fact, they even found Makoto with the stun, but he does Waning Rift away. X is there. Mizu, he'll charge in, but who are we aiming right now? Looks like they are still going after Makoto, and they get him. The puck's down. They've also found the Elder Titan. Mamang Daya, he can get to work with that hero. They'll find him, Paulison. Going to be another death here on the side of NGX, and Omega still looking great. They're back into that mid-tier 1.
Yeah, it's down to the draft, right? Like, you get both and Solar Guardian on top, you're not going to find that kill. It's a lot of healing, it's a lot of durability with a run buff, and I think for NGX, they have to be careful about jumping the Kunkka. They have to jump softer targets. Like, the Weaver is very vulnerable to the silence at this point, probably the best target to go for. Mid-tier 1 taken out. Omega finally getting a little bit more space for themselves. That should secure their control of the bot jungle and allow them to just get that steady build-up. But they're not going to rest. Mamang Daya was under smoke. Does immediately get popped.
Kodo, he's going to be able to just orb away. Prince still getting the vision, but Mamang Daya not within range to get the X off. Stop, though. Does catch out Prince again. Charge is there. Mizu, he'll cancel it off. Prince just constantly being targeted in this Weaver. He has to be very cautious with the way he plays. He's nowhere near tanky enough without the BKB to be able to play that far forward. So he's just still trying to get that vision from Mamang Daya, but obviously not worth his life if he does go down.
Yeah, but I like seeing that aggression from Omega. They understand that they've got angles to play with their early aggression, with the durability they have on hand. So they're trying to play it on as far of an edge as they can. So they'll slow down a bit, get some stacks going for Mamang Daya. He does have his early Orchid up, so he's got really good control for the puck. If it does show, they can get the silence off with the X, just immediately get the combination off, and find that easy kill. Heck, it could be really good in the Terrorblade as well. Inner Dream, not quite at the Manta style yet, so he can't dispel that silence, and if he does get caught out, that could be a big kill. Still, smoke up here from Omega once more. Looking like they want to rotate up top. There was a ward, but I don't believe they were under that ward during that smoke.
What are they going to find? They'd love Makoto again on that puck. In fact, now the pings are coming out. They know he's there.
Step lively now.
Daya, smoke broken. They know he's around now. Silence is there onto the puck. Aaron trying to get an impale off. The X is going to fly in. Solar Guardian. It's very, very messy though. Makoto has not taken any form of damage. Instead, they'll have to go after Joe Camp, but now the Fiends grip Senki. He'll be able to ensure they lock down this puck and secure the kill.
And that's a massive kill. The exact targets they wanted at that moment. They managed to get control. Again, it's that global presence you get from the Dawnbreaker. Early on, it's very hard to play against when you do manage to force this fight in a fragmented manner from NGX, and they couldn't bring the numbers to bear. Top tier 1 going to be taken out as well, shrinking the map further for the side of NGX and Omega. They've got themselves a 2k lead, not massive. They're barely ahead of In Your Dream in terms of farm. Prince going for the Sanj next with the stat resist and more strength. The bug is going to be hard to squish For the side of NGX, I mean, they're hitting some spikes. Like Mikado, once he has the duels, is going to be much more protected against the X, against the Orchid coming through from Mamang Daya. He just needs to kind of farm that up. Try to get some room for himself on the map and just work his way up there. For In Your Dream, Manta Style almost done. Ultimate Orb almost up. Then just the recipe left. And once you hit that Manta with the Dragon Lance, you can actually start playing if you want to. That could be the window for NGX to kind of start playing aggressively, start finding more kills on their side.
I mean, Prince and In Your Dream still kind of just neck to neck here as Aaron gonna get caught on the next assassin. Was underneath the sentry. Get taken down. Props to Prince, even against the Terrorblade, he is still keeping up very nicely in farm. And this Weaver, you can't underestimate the amount of damage they can pump out later on in the game. It does get kind of ridiculous. This top lane, Makoto will try to make the jump in with Van, but it's going to be just fine to back himself out with the orb. It feels like Makoto's just constantly being hunted here on this puck. Instead, he'll TP down bot. It's like Zenki has been spotted. You've got the coil if you want to commit, but it's like instead, Fiend's Group's going to fly out onto the Spirit Breaker. No help incoming. There's your coil now. It's all too late though. Mizu is going to go down. And Omega, they just continue to get away with murder here.
Yeah, they're just running and gunning really well, just punishing NGX for not being able to find the angles. And we expected the Spirit Breaker to be able to isolate out the Weaver, isolate out the Nyx. They haven't been able to play around that. So I think Omega's feeling really good right now with a 4K lead. They're just working the map well. They're hitting these item spikes. They are farming really well on Mamang Daya on top of that. Like, his BKB is not too far off. The Kunkka is going to be able to stand there, use all his spells, add to the durability of the team. And again, you don't have the burst damage on NGX to play against the Solar Guardian and the boat buff. So it's going to take them a lot more farm on In Your Dream and on Mikado to really fight against that. And that's going to be a bit of an issue. That means Omega's power spike is going to be a bit longer. Their big jump in presence is going to last maybe about 10 more minutes, more than you'd expect. And for NGX, the only thing they can do is either look for solo pickoffs or just keep farming up.
Mikado still being harassed here by Aaron. Mizu not having the impact he would have liked, I'm sure. It's 2, 3, and 4 here on the Spirit Breaker. Trying to work towards that BKB so he can actually just continuously charge in a team fight. Just not be locked down constantly. Especially by the X, the Torrent, the Impales. All very annoying here. Of course, the Fiend's Rip's still going to be a massive problem for them no matter what. This top lane, Joe Cam, he'll be impaled up. And Starbreaker there. Who do you want to give the kill to? To be another one going to the way of Mamang Daya. So his 4th of the game, just currently sitting at 4-0-7 now. Just continues to dominate the map, and he's still top of the net worth board on this mid Kunkka.
Yeah, and I like this move. After the kill, immediate smoke, looking for the flank. They've got the BKB on the Kunkka up. Paulson?
Yeah. They've already popped the meta here on In Your Dream. Mamang Daya still going to try and force the fight. Does get his BKB off in time, and the boat does fly in. In fact, Makoto, he cops the boat. They get the puck instantly. NGX just not on the same page here.
Yeah, they're kind of scattered out. I think the only upside here for NGX is that In Your Dream is farming really great, but he is forced to show up.
Nice charge in from Mizu, landing 2 stuns off, but Mortimer's Kisses are also coming in, still they are relatively healthy. Van being chased down, but he's going to be okay. Zenki charges up, Mizu will go after him and should eventually get this kill. In fact, now Paulson with a cookie out is in, but he's going to drop the Van. Mamang Daya still playing around there with Mizu. That's going to be the end of the team fight, it seems. Neither team wanting to continue here. Does it even favor? Just a 1-for-1 of the supports.
Yeah, I think for Omega that's fine. They kind of managed to expend and force out the kisses, so they shouldn't expect a rotation while their own spells are down, especially that Solar Guardian. They're going to have a window where Solar Guardian's back up, kisses are not. So a bigger engagement will work out for Omega if they find the angle. And they are still working the map well. They might be eyeing Roshan. I don't know how fast they'd clear it, but they do have the Maelstrom up on Prince. So this can go relatively quick. No wards here from NGX to spot it out. And again, with no kisses, the team fight kind of just shoots down. They do have Dream Coil from Mikado, but they need that follow-up damage from the Snapfire.
They do. Roshan is dropping. Charge is there. They found Aaron. Cookie will be out. Nether Strike. A lot of control here, and Aaron eventually should drop, but Yules is out, and now the Soul Guardian will come in. He gets the Impale off before he goes down. They'll at least trade supports. So Mega will chase for more.
Double damage.
No, it looks like they will go back for the Roshan pit. It's just still very, very low in terms of HP. May as well just get that finished up. They'll just continue dominating this game.
Wildly important for Omega. The DD did spawn, but In Your Dream took it. So yeah, that timing was still there, not fully patched out, but In Your Dream snags it away, and he's going to feel great. Again, the only benefit NGX is really getting out here with all the movement is that their Terrorblade is farming. And he is still right behind Mamang Daya, so it's not the best position. You want to be number one for Kami-sama. He needs to get that Scotty timing in. They will smoke up here. They know there's no Solar Guardian, so one big toolkit from Omega is taken out. They just have to worry about the boat.
Here we go. Mizu frontlining for the team. Van, only one at top lane, but they might just want that top tier 2 tower. So Mega, they are in position to go after the bottom tier 2. So just maybe looking for a bit of a trade as or Van apparently doesn't get spotted there by Mizu.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So Boom will just, rather, excuse me, NGX will just keep up the tier 2 tower push.
Dire's middle tower.
Mega's still sticking around. Meanwhile, Aaron starts scouting out for the team, but he runs right underneath a sentry ward as it was placed, but it won't matter because he runs right back out of range.
Radiant's bottom tower.
The Nyx Assassin just going to be fine in the nick of time. GX still committed to this top tier 2. They'll pop the meta, they'll get started. TPs are incoming, however. Looks like Omega want to try and defend this. Mizu gonna have a look for a target. Zenki is in the tree line somewhere. He's trying to find him. Mamang Daya will come in now. Who's the target, however? Tidal Wave. It's going to catch Makoto into the Orchid now, but the fog making it very hard for him to follow up. So far, Makoto's just fine. Let's blink towards the left side. No, Tidal Wave will catch him, but they don't have the stun.
Your admiral is on board.
It doesn't cancel TPs.
Oh man. I think the Tidal Wave actually messed that up. If Mamang Daya didn't do that, Aaron might have been able to get the angle on the Impale. So he could have found that kill.
Mizu.
Huh.
I swear I just heard a BKB, did I not?
Yeah, it's Van. He popped his 9-second charge.
Okay.
Unfortunate, but
No worries.
I think it's alright. You can still use Solar Guardian. You don't have to worry about Spike Carapace in the enemy team. And they will smoke up.
Mamang Daya. So has his own BKB up, and of course you've got a BKB now on Prince. In Your Dream, oh this would be a great target. In Your Dream, gonna try and run away from Aaron. Cookie's there, they should have an X. They do get it eventually. They've got the Terrorblade with the Solar Guardian to come in, and everybody else just backs out of there. Leaves In Your Dream to die. They knew they could not take the fight. In AG, they'll go right into the outpost.
Take a nice piece of control here in that bot jungle. Just denying more farm spots away from NGX. A big issue for NGX is that it's mainly In Your Dream that's getting to build up. Mikado is still somewhat keeping up pace on the puck. He does have that Blink Travels coming up soon. I think Mizu on his Spirit Breaker is having a bit of a rough time though. Like he's only got the Shadow Blade and the Phase Boost, which on paper sounds like it should be enough, but he just hasn't been able to find the angles and some heroes to pick off. And none of the heroes are really single, you know, it's not something he can rotate and get one kill on. Any of these heroes, all of them are quite tanky. Joe Cam.
Zenki gonna be able to get the Nightmare off. Makoto at least gonna try and trade supports, but he is lacking a fair bit of damage at the moment. So Zenki's gonna be able to survive as Makoto has to leave.
You
Among Dyer, he does get Joe Camp down and take the outpost right back for the team. In the meantime, Aaron and Prince having a look around for another hero to pick off, and Win Your Dream not going to make his way to the triangle, and now we'll realize Prince was around the area. It's been a pretty tough game here for In Your Dream. It's not very often you see him behind like this, and when he's playing POS 1, but he's still behind Mamang Daya. Very impressive from Alconco.
They've been able to really leverage that aggression in Omega. Just make it nearly impossible for the Terrorblade to find that farm. And Mamang Dai has a lot of tools to clear out creep waves, clear out camps. The tidal wave is really good. He's going to have the water park open soon, but he ags just 1,000 gold away. So you're going to have to deal with that now as a Terrorblade. You are, In Your Dream is not going for BKB yet. He's rushing to Scotty first. So there's a very big window where Omega just has this insane teamfight control that Terrorblade can't really fight into. He does have his full Scotty up, so he can slow down a lot of these cores. He is a little bit tankier here on Terrorblade and deny off a bit of that healing coming out from Van. But I still worry about him if he does get chain stunned. I don't think the Terrorblade's going to survive for that long.
Certainly doesn't feel that way. Not after the last engagements we've seen.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Yuzu barely avoiding getting caught there at the top lane now. Omega still very, very patient here. I mean, they understand they're in the lead at the moment, but they're not quite confident enough to start knocking on those mid and top tier 2 towers. The smoke gonna be popped here. 5-man from NGX. Oh, Mamang Dai, he'd be a great kill. He has not died yet this game, but they found him. The charge is there. Solar Guardian won't keep him up long enough. Van now will be a secondary kill for the side of NGX. And that'll be the first death for Mamang Daya. And at the same time, In Your Dream officially takes over the net worth graph.
Yeah, massive kill. Great smoke coming out from NGX. Knowing that once Omega split up, it'd be a lot easier. Like, they get the chain stuns off first on the Kunkka before he could use the Ghost Ship. And without that rum buff, he is a lot squishy. So starting that push in the mid tier 2. Aaron will kind of slow it down, but it's a soul Nyx. Can't really do much. And the rest of Omega not interested in the defense. Just trying to farm where they can. Keep building up. They have to wait for the Kunkka and the Dawnbreaker to be back up. Respawns aren't too long, but...
Yeah, charge in. They've got the Nyx. Aaron trying to sneak his way in to maybe delay this, but not going to be the case. Yeah, another kill to go the way of NGX as now they look towards that top lane. Zenki and of course Prince are there. Zenki in position to break the smoke if necessary. Though there is no smoking coming.
Radiant's top tower
Like the NGX, they don't even try to go after Prince. They won't waste their time. It's like the call's been made to just go back to farm or they still have a chance. So Mega, they are still in the lead, so you've got to be very wary of them grouping up and going after you instead. Have to wait and see if they do want to group up and start making that move over.
Yeah, I'm looking at Mamang Dai right now, Mike. He switches out from Ags into Assault Gears, so he's not going to go for the Water Park. And that is going to take out a lot of the control that I think Omega could have played with. But the AC is such a safe bet. Up against the physical output of the TB, that will allow you to survive longer. You and your team to survive longer. So I can see the value in just going for that build-up. I think the Ags timing here for Van is still... It's actually almost done. 300 gold away. So you will have that Solar Guardian with the added evasion counteracting the TB's output. And that could be the moment when things can go on the up and up for Omega once more. They are smoked up here.
Oh, Mizu. Cheeky charge from the back. Dust will be popped. Mizu, he will get out. Dust doesn't even connect. Van, bot lane. He's seen by Makoto, but both kind of just ignore each other. And neither side really 100% confident in going for a fight, it seems. Just accepting the fact that it's farming time. The Daedalus is to be built up on In Your Dream, so I suppose you're kind of just waiting for that. Next Roshan's up in a minute 45, so you've got that available to boot.
Radiant are scanning.
I suppose there is a decent power spike now, though, for Omega, because you've got the AC and you've got the Ags up on Mamang Daya and Van, respectively. But it's actually going to be NGX that smoke up as 4 now.
If they find an isolated hero, they can make short work of them and again kill them off. I think the big one is you catch Kunkka, you prevent both. You kind of have a good time. And Mamandaya.
Might get caught out. The charge is incoming from a mile away. Mizu going to make his way over with the Shadow Blade. Does catch him out. The X is not going to help. The Solar Guardian might do some decent work here. Mamandaya, he can get the BKB in time. Now the Solar Guardian right onto In Your Dream, but he's unaffected. He'll just get back to work. Mamandaya, though, proving to be way too tanky. So Omega, they'll turn. Now that the BKB is over, back in onto the Terrorblade. Olsen, he bought back. Luckily for him, Eren does not connect the Impale. Kodo, gonna re-engage, still has the coil up, so can play with that. Again, neither side fully
Radiant's
committing
middle
though.
tower is under attack.
We'll just wait out the next Roshan.
And that Roshan's going to be big. No Solar Guardian for Omega for half a minute. That will line up with a respawn though. And they hit this massive spike in the Weaver. Daedalus up. The right-click damage coming out from Prince just skyrockets at this point. It might still be a tough job to clear through the Terrorblade with all his armor, but your Weaver definitely can rip the softer supports even through the Puck. You're not very well protected on Mikado, although he does have that Aeon Disc up and running. So we'll see who does commit for the Roche first. Does respawn right about now. No vision from both sides to watch, but at the least for NGX, they've got the Astral Spirit to check it out.
Alright, not going to connect. Polison going to get X'd up. The Honor Titan. That'll be a dieback for Polison. Really nice timing here from Omega, considering Roshan has spawned. Of course, NGX will have vision over that Roshan with the TB illusion.
Dire's bottom tower
It looks like
has
they
fallen.
are thinking about it. I mean, Omega, without an Elder Titan up, you'd think they would try to force this. And they will. Get back into the Roshan pit, see if they can get it done fast enough. Mid lane, though. Eren, he does get caught out in the nick, so they do get at least a hero kill. The Roshan kill is much, much better, of course, for the side of Omega.
Dire's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under
they're secure now with 2 lives under Weaver. They managed to get that done their way. They're going to be extra strong. 2 lives in Weaver with the time-lapse factor there as well. It means it's a very hard bug to squish down. NGX, they're keeping this game fairly tied up. It's a 22-14 lead for Omega, but 4K net worth lead isn't much at 34 minutes in. And In Your Dream is still #1 in farm. So your Terrorblade's still a massive issue. He is protected by the BKB. He's working on to the Daedalus next. And I think at some point Omega will kind of stop scaling. Like the output of the Weaver will have a hard cap here.
No camp. Gonna drop Prince. Just so much damage with the Daedalus. Easily takes him down. All the lines being drawn out through every lane. Seems like Omega just want those lanes pushed out so they can actually start thinking about high ground. Your Dream in the meantime, gonna stick around bot lane and just keep that pushed out. Van, or rather Prince, chase down Polison again on this Elder Titan. Though you do have help there from Makoto on the puck. Not too much he can do though. Or at least buy the time for Polison to make enough distance between himself and the Weaver.
Your admiral is on board.
So Omega, they seem very bloodthirsty at the moment. Definitely wanting to try and start a fight if they can. However, Mizu gonna find Van down at the bot lane. In Your Dream now gonna join in. Van, he's got Solar Guardian, but rather than that, he'll pop the BKB and he'll just go for a run. Be just fine.
Radiant's middle tower.
He's
is
holding
under
out a
attack.
huge amount of force from NGX down bot. Mid-tier 2 just being shoved in by Omega. Because all these heroes are showing bot, they should feel fairly secure in this push. And they also managed to force out the Fortify. They make short work of that. 1 outer tower left here for NGX, equalizing the map for Omega. And it's looking good. Like, they are going to TP for the defense. They don't want to give this tower out. Mamangdaya does a ton of damage now with his Tidebringer. But you're in a good position now for for Omega. 6k up, still not growing at the pace
Prince?
you want. Although,
Solar Guardian is going to save the day here for Prince. Very dangerous predicament here for the Weavers. Mizu just keeps going after the Bane, and you are going to end up losing at least one. Zenki, he's gone. They might even find another. Eren, he'll get Dream caught up. In Your Dream now going to make his move in with the meta. Eren, though, just going to try and run away and might just make it. In fact, even procs the Aeon disc there from Makoto is in your dream. Is still trying, and that's a great cookie up from Chocam. Onto the creep wave. And again, Aaron with the spike carapace just going to be too tricky to catch. AG, they only lose the Bane. Did I say AG? I meant Omega. Damn among Dire. He's confusing me, John.
That he is. Still holds on to the old team tag. Still Omega feeling great. 8k up. Only losing a Bane. Could have been a lot worse. They hold on to the Aegis for a minute and a half more. They should look to turn while the Aegis is up. You kind of want to use that second life to full effect on Prince, and he is taking point. They don't have the Solar Guardian anymore, so it could be a bit tough.
Stomp out. Going to catch the Weaver. They won't be able to capitalize. Meantime, Van having a look around for Makoto. Not going to be able to quite find the puck either. Of course, Mizu's actually the one now down at the bot lane, keeping that pushed out and forcing constant attention towards that tier 2 Dire tower. But it seems like Omega, they've had enough. They'll just work towards the top tier 2 now. It is the final outer tower left for NGX. So once this is down, you're looking at high ground.
Radiant's top tower
Thing is though, NGX, they may commit for that bottom tier 2 as well. I mean, that's the final outer tower for Omega. Right now, they just let the creep wave take care of it. Prince, do you want to try and force high ground? He's making his way over.
And they've got only half a minute left on the Aegis, so not much time here for that second life. Prince has to be a bit cautious. You've got the Ags up on Mizu, so you can be super fast on the respawns. They will play it safe, back off. They still hold on to their bot tier 2. It is fairly low, so they could look to force a fight there, but there is a smoke here from Omega. Solar Guardian back up. Not as effective if in your dreams around, because he does have his MKB up. So we'll have to watch for that, but they've also got the Hex up on Mamang Daya. Still playing into the puck Ags can be a bit tricky, and NGX will also smoke around that item timing.
We've got a 5-on-5 smoke. But now Omega, they're not going to find anyone. Just going to head down to the bot lane and address the wave that's pushing into that tier 2. NGX though, they'll know exactly where Omega are. Move in. Aaron might be in position to break the smoke, and does. Paulison, he'll be caught out. Impels there. Aaron actually going for a very cheeky stun. Now a spike carapace. He's just going to try and charge in. But look at the amount of space and time Aaron's bought. But they have the high ground. Van still trying to go forward. But Paulison, a massive stomp out. And now the Earth Splitter will fly right through. They've gotten too greedy, I think. Van's going to go down. The Nyx Assassin will drop to boot. Mamang Daya, he's still going to try and fight. They do at least get Senki down. It's just still not looking great. It's a 4-for-0 trade in your dream on a triple kill. And now they found the last piece of the puzzle. They have got Prince down. Omega, one small mistake, and they pay heavily.
That swings the entire game towards NGX now. They've got the net worth advantage. Their Terrorblade is at the point where it's a massive issue. And Cure Weaver does good damage, but not Terrorblade level damage. And I think that's where the discrepancy lies for Omega. They also forced the fight onto the high ground. They did not have vision. NGX had vision on the high ground. NGX had the advantage, and they were very clumped up from Omega. They just caught out by the stun from Paulson. They get punished for it. Now, tier 3 tower not going to last long. Rack's not going to last long as well.
Thinking about a charge in onto Aaron. Yeah, that mid-Rax is gone. Your dream, he'll make his way up to the top lane instead. So hard to defend when you haven't got that mid-Kunka. And Mizu, he's going in after that Nyx. Aaron, he's in trouble. He'll Vendetta and just run. This will mean a secondary Rax to drop here in GX. They won't be able to go after Megas. But that's fine considering how the state of the game was. They'll probably just be happy with finding 2 Raxes now. They'll go for a dive back in after the Bane. That's going to be enough. Mizu, he's out of there.
Respective respawns. You managed to clear out the mid entirely. Top melee racks means that it's still going to shove in. And now you're in a very strong position for NGX. You've got the map under your control. You've got the Terrorblade, who's super big. And Omega, it feels like they might have missed their window. The scaling of Prince just doesn't line up as well. Mamang Dai is just trying to go for the Bloodtorn next for additional damage and control, but I think there might have been more value in the Yags. Still, they could get caught out here.
Oh, nice charge, Mizu. He caught two at the start, and Mamang Daya again can't afford to die. He still doesn't have buyback. He will survive. Solar Guardian enough, but a big Earth Split around is doing a lot of damage as Mizu. He'll keep charging through. They've got Prince down. The Weaver, he'll buy back. Mamang Daya, though, he may not be so lucky. Makoto, he's got him under control, or does he? Mamang Daya still trying to run. In the meantime, in your dream, he ends up dropping a Prince. They do at least get the Terrorblade down. In fact, they're even going to find Paulison. So Prince is forced to buy back, but it does pay off with two very valuable kills.
Are under attack.
They make it work. Not a very clean trade for Omega. If they hold on from losing any more on the high ground, they will have to wait until their Kunkka is back up before forcing any further issue. Roshan's still down for 2 minutes, so that's actually good news for both sides, as both sides will be able to contest Roshan with her full lineup, and they're not going to be worried about anyone else sniping that next Rosh. Omega, we're seeing a lot of back and forth. Like, the sustained play is still there, but I think it's tough because you get so much more info out
Bottom tower
from
is under
NGX with his
attack.
charge on Prince.
Oh, Prince, no, you just fought back. Oh, 2 minutes without Prince. In your dream, back up in 27 seconds, and well, you can imagine, John, it might be right through the bot lane, or it might just be to the next Roshan. Either way, you've got to be happy if you're NGX with that Prince kill. They've got to be careful. I mean, without these buybacks available, you can't play that far forward. Not against the Spirit Breaker.
No, they're not respecting the info game coming out here. Like, the mobility of the Spirit Breaker at this point with the Ags, he's had that for a while, but Mizu's just all over the map, and BKBs mean nothing to the Spirit Breaker. He just bashes you right through. Things are coming out from In Your Dream for the Roshan, 45 seconds away, but they will still have that window where the Weaver's not going to be there. So Omega's just going to lack a ton of damage to leverage in that tight spot. Omega, they need to just play really carefully. I think if they manage to force a good high ground fight, they've got decent control on the high ground with the boat fleet, with the Torrent, with the Solar Guardian. You really need the Ags up on Aaron. That's
Mizu.
so far away.
Mizu, why are you charging that deep, sir?
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Maybe forgot to stop the charge, is forced to BKB up. Because they still have 35 seconds without the Weaver up. Prince,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
no way back into this game. He's in your dream, he'll go for the Mega Creeps now. Men are pumped, they're fully committed. Roshan or not, is Makoto going to jump in with a waiting rip. Mizu, he's onto Mamang Daya with the Nightmare. Going to hold him down as Van. He's right in, but he's right gone. Torrent, boat, it's going to land, but in your dream, he's taken no damage. Hex out now, but where's your follow-up to it? Just not there. Impel, Prince, he's up in 2. Makoto, still going. Harassing them in the back, as In Your Dream now is completely out of mana, but is still willing to try and fight. Stun out onto the Nyx. Solar Guardian cancelled immediately by the silence of Makoto. They're still holding down this Terrorblade with the Fiend's Grip. In Your Dream now, hexed up, but the charges in from Mizu. Onto 3 heroes. They'll get the Terrorblade, but what are they going to lose in response? A hell of a lot. Van's gone as well. There's only a Bane left. GG. Mamang Daya calls it for the team. And Omega, I mean, they had such a dominant game. One bad team fight, and it just swings back the way of NGX.
Yeah, it looked really good for Omega for a long time. They were actually applying decent pressure onto In Your Dream. Mamang Dai was doing a ton of work on his Kunkka, which is, again, one of his signature heroes from his times in Army Geniuses. But they let it slip a bit, like especially that time where Prince was caught out after buying back. I think that really opened up the game for NGX, and eventually they just got outscaled. Like, the Terrorblade late game had no answers outside of maybe Grip from Zenki, and you couldn't really fully rely on that because they had a lot of jump from NGX. They had really good backline reach with the Elder Titan, with a puck, and it's a very difficult situation for Omega. So we'll see how they change it up. I think if they had a better scaling core for Prince, like something beyond the Weaver to handle the Terrorblade, they might have been able to draw the game out a bit longer, but they do get punished. And this is something we've seen consistently from NGX, Mike. Sometimes they start off really slow, but they put their faith in your dream to make the right choices and get the big plays going at the end, and he always delivers.
Yeah, I mean, this time around, though, I think it was more on Mizu here. I mean, the Spirit Breaker, just the charges he was coming up with in the team fights. It's too much to handle. Nevertheless, we'll go into a short 10-minute break, and right after that break, we'll be back with our final game of the night between NGX and, of course, Omega. See you then.